Here, my good man, you're going to see one more trash fantasy with the guy who was abandoned by the heroes group. However, he becomes a good do-everything guy, the famous stick for every job. The guy is a swordsman, mage, and support at the same time. So if you liked it and want to relax, stick with me until the end, and let's go to the video. A magical rabbit attacks the protag in a dungeon, but he destroys it easily. More monsters start arriving that don't even give for the smell. He is still in good shape, so there's no need to worry, and he manages to get by. As a swordsman, several goblins appear, and Oran will try at the right moment some support magics. That said, he uses Strength Increase, which improves the physical attributes of the target and also strengthens the equipment. Goblins move to the attack, and Oran strikes back, explaining that the user can use Strength Increase both on allies and on himself. The guy is very strong and shreds the goblins without sweating, but more arrive to go to the base and nothing they can do against the protagonist Oran. However, this magic has a bad side, its duration, because it lasts only 3 minutes and Oran cannot use support magic all the time, and someone's resistance to magic affects the time of the effect. In his case, it is the 3 minutes which have to be well calculated to reactivate the magic at the exact moment. Enchanters who use support magic are always in a race against time. Normally nobody is like Oran, who uses support magic on himself while brandishing a sword. Oran one day was called by his heroes group, and they said that he would have to leave. Oran did not believe that his childhood friend Oliver would do this to him. Oliver said that because they are from the same village. He gave several chances to Oran, but that from then on there would be no more way for him to keep up with the group. The other members, all mocking, say that Oran is delaying the team's progress. Oran does not believe what he hears, and Oliver says that Oran is not strong enough, so he has to leave the heroes group. Oliver and Oran formed the group 8 years ago and reached rank S together in a short time, being the first to reach the 94th floor of the Great South Labyrinth. They then started to be called the Heroes Group. Oran admitted that maybe he was not strong enough, but this applies to everyone. However, Oliver says that they did not understand properly the function of Enchanter until they saw in the joint raid how level S enchanters from other groups dealt. They were incredible. And with that, Oliver and the others assumed that Oran's support magic is too weak. Oran says that that is indeed so. After all, his original profession was swordsman. Therefore, he developed his own original magic. However, the Brute says that he only did that because he was always worse with the sword than Oliver. And now he is not even a very good enchanter, with no position to complain. Oran said that he converted to enchanter because it was what he had more aptitude for, developing his own type of magic to compensate his weaknesses. And everyone survived the more dangerous floors thanks to this. But Oliver reveals that he already has a substitute for Oran. This leaves the protag shaken, such betrayal in front of him and his other colleagues not giving a shit about him, saying that Oran only delays the heroes group that needs to be stronger. Oran did not believe this, being treated by companions who lived together with him for many years. The mage says that even if Oran makes rank A magics and wields swords, it is only level A, which irritates a lot. And everyone called him stick for every job. In the present, Oran reflects on this and thinks about being an enchanter swordsman, a new style that combines two very different things. But he is adaptable enough to make it work. Thus, no one will ever again call him stick for every time. One day, Oran promises to be an adventurer who will do anything. Oran makes your save on the crystal, so when he comes back, he will start from the 7th floor of the labyrinth. Then, a shabby group of adventurers arrives running away from orcs because they could not handle several of them. The tense thing is that they left one member of the group, a girl, behind. Oran listens to this attentively, and the leader of the group says that there was nothing to do. He prioritized saving the old members of the group. However, Oran is in conflict about going to save the girl or letting natural selection act on her. However, Oran knows what it is like to be abandoned by the group, and the guys are all making up excuses not to go save her, and Oran gets tired of this and said that they do not need to keep inventing excuses. They are just a bunch of cowards. Then one of the randoms wants to fight and takes an Olay to get smart. Oran asks them to stay quiet and tells them to say where they left the girl. Cut to her, who is suffering to maintain a barrier against the orcs and calls for her sister desperately. Someone save the girl for the love of God. The orcs break the barrier, but Oran arrives in time with his air magic and goes to the rescue, killing the orcs with his strength magic, technique increase, and incredible skills with the sword. The girl does not know if it is a swordsman or an enchanter who is in front of her. She has never seen anyone fight like that. But this matters little. The guy is savage boss lady. Oran understands that a group that weak could not handle this number of orcs. However, Oran is skilled to do this alone. He continues spinning and dancing with the blade, and the girl is almost falling in love with her savior. He finishes the rescue, and the girl collapses on the ground and cries with relief. They leave the dungeon, and Orun says goodbye. However, the girl asks for a moment and wants to thank again, introducing herself as Sophia Claude. Then Orun recognizes the surname and the crest on her clothes. Sophia likes Orun's name and asks to pay a dinner for Orun to properly thank him, after insisting with a cute face. Orun accepts and goes with her to a restaurant with a rabbit's crest. Orun already suspects it, but now he is sure that Sophia is a member of the clan of the Silver Rabbits of the Night Sky. This is one of the biggest clans in the Kingdom of Noheitan and also one of the most popular. Then Sophia meets her older sister in the restaurant because she had a meeting nearby. However, the big sister is suspicious of there being an older guy with Sophia, and she recognizes Orun and he remembers Selma Claudel. Selma is the most savage and leader of her rank S group, the most powerful of her clan, also known as the most powerful enchanter of the kingdom. She is the one who made the enchanter role have recognition, and created the idea of group members having different functions. It was Selma Claudel who put together the idea that there would have to be a tank, a swordsman, and a mage in a group so that the team's forces would be balanced. This changed forever how adventurers act in the labyrinths, and Orun's hero group was no different. And since they had 2 swordsmen, Orun had to convert to enchanter for being the most compatible with the function. However, after his group saw Selma fighting in the dungeon, Oliver and the others decided to replace Orun with a higher rank enchanter. Now Orun does not understand Selma's anger. She says that a pervert cannot go out with her 14-year-old sister and that this is a lot of audacity from him. However, Orun, instead of explaining himself, he only makes everything worse, saying that he was only going to have dinner with her and that his intentions are the purest with Sophia. Hello, YouTube and police, this is a joke and anime stuff. I have nothing to do with this, and I do not agree either. Okay? The fucked up thing is that Selma gets pissed that her sister is not enough for Orun. Then the train derailed for good. Sophia asks to stop this, because Orun saved her life. With this, Selma discovers that the little one went alone to explore the Great Southern Labyrinth. And you, my good man, could explore down there the like button and click it, as well as the subscribe one that gives a huge support to the channel. Back to it. Selma had said that it was for the little sister to wait until the day after tomorrow when the group would enter the Southern Labyrinth. Sophia apologizes for her haste and carelessness, and Orun now understands why an important person was alone in the labyrinth. Selma says that Sophia will no longer go out alone around there, but she will not scold her. After all, she returned unharmed from the labyrinth thanks to Orun, and she thanks him for that and apologizes for the rudeness from before. The 3 have dinner together, and Selma says that in the joint attack in the labyrinth last month, she saw how Orun is a good enchanter, that he gave her support during the entire confrontation, since they were the main enchanters there. Selma praises him a lot, and she finds it strange that Sophia does not know Orun, since he is very famous for being from the heroes group. That said, Sophia freaks out and gets all embarrassed, but Orun says that it is all right and that he is no longer from the heroes group and just says that he left the team. Selma wants to know when it was, and he says it was yesterday, but Selma does not believe that they would let someone skilled leave like that. And Orun says that everyone agreed with the reasons for this. With that, Selma wants to know if he is free, but Orun already refuses, thinking that she wants to recruit him to her clan. However, that is not it. Selma has an offer for him to go to the teaching expedition of her clan in 2 days. This serves to recruit new adventurers, as if it were training and practice. Some rank A veterans and above will command the new recruits, spending 3 days going down until floor 50 of the Great Southern Labyrinth. Orun thinks that 3 days is unrealistic, even for the best novices that would take 6 months to a year to complete this. But Selma says that it may be an absurd schedule, but not impossible if they take the shortest path. In addition, the sponsors are demanding immediate actions. Even in the anime world, people have problems with sponsor pressure. If only I could have this problem one day. Orun says that because this is impossible, Selma should have made the sponsors cancel this expedition. Then he thinks that Selma must have another reason, that if the new recruits who would not be able to defeat a floor boss could alone go explore the deeper floors, this would strengthen the clan as a whole. Selma is impressed by how he deduced all this with the little she said. She explains that in the labyrinths it is necessary to defeat the floor bosses every 10 floors to advance. So it is common that new recruits get injured or go to F in these battles. But if an experienced adventurer defeats a boss, then the novices only have to register at the crystal and go to the next floor. That is why Selma wants Orun to participate. Orun says that it is a very important mission for the Silver Rabbits. Could an outsider participate just fine? Selma takes Orun's hands and says that she respects him, and Orun is happy with this and thinks about the contrast of being treated as a worthy enchanter different from what his group did to him. Orun thinks about whether he should return to being an enchanter after everything that happened, then gently refuses Selma Claude's offer and says that he has other plans. Then Sophia invites him, saying that she will also participate and would very much like Orun's presence on the expedition, but he says that he needs some time to think, and makes it clear that he converted to swordsman, and if he participates it will be as that class and not enchanter. Selma is fine with this. After all, if the situation gets tight, she believes that Orun will return to being an enchanter. She will wait for him at the Silver Rabbits HQ very early tomorrow in case he wants to go. Orun goes to the shop of an old man who sells items for adventurers. The old man thanks Orun for having done marketing for his shop. Now the business is going very well. Orun apologizes because he is no longer from the Heroes group, so there is no way to help Grandpa anymore and no one will listen to him anymore. However, the old man will always be grateful to Orun. It does not matter if he is from a famous group or not, because he knows his character and how much he strives. So Orun needs to have more self-esteem and understand his value, because he will hear many more thank yous from now on. Orun the next morning goes to meet Selma and he has a better face than yesterday. Now he can go to the expedition with the Silver Rabbits. The episode begins with Orun meeting the leader of the Silver Rabbits of the Night Sky, Vince Briers. The leader says that he does not need to be formal since he left the Heroes group. The atmosphere is more pleasant, and Orun wants to know how this educational expedition of the Silver Rabbits will work. Then Selma starts to say that they will go to floor 51 of the Great Southern Labyrinth with the clan's novices in 3 days. On the first day, they will stop on the 21st floor, and on the second day, on the 36th floor. Cut to a small flashback where Vince does not believe that Orun left the Heroes group, because this means a great loss for them. Because it was Orun who made that team advance and reach the level it is at now. Selma praised Orun a lot and knows that even though he has less power in his magics than the average, his speed to cast is impressive. It is even up to 4 times faster than Selma herself. In the joint attack, Orun still used original magics, and his capacity to understand when to act in a fight and read enemy movement is on another level. The guy is complete as an enchanter, and without him, the Heroes group becomes weaker and the Silver Rabbits can take the lead in this. Vince has already heard very good things about him. It is tense that enchanters who are not Selma do not receive the due credits. Back to the present, and Orun understood exactly how the expedition will work. There will be 5 escorts, including Orun and Selma, to assist the novices in the labyrinth fights if needed, and when a floor boss comes, they also deal with it and the novices do not wear themselves out. However, Orun is in doubt about why there are only 5 escorts, since this schedule is absurd and the more experienced people the less risk for the expedition. However, Selma gives a half-baked answer, that it is good for the novices to evolve in moments of crisis. But Orun is aware that it is a lie and thinks that they will not reveal everything to someone from outside. So he forgets this and just accepts it. Vince says that the Protag's reward will be 2 gold coins now and 10 if the mission is a success. Orun is surprised to earn so much like that just to assist in a school tour basically, but paying well it is fine. This amount is enough to pay his expenses for a year. The day passes. Now Orun the Enchanter Swordsman goes toward the meeting point at the entrance of the Great Southern Labyrinth and meets Sophia and Selma. Sophia is already with her student uniform and Orun praises her clothes innocently. Sophia gets all red and Selma already comes thinking dirty. Stop it, you crazy woman, because this channel here is for the whole family. Orun got used to talking gently with women because there were female members in the Heroes group. Then Selma understands since they lived in the same mansion. Orun now is living in an inn. However, he needs to find a definitive place to live. Then Selma comes thinking that her sister wants to go visit Orun alone. Sophia says that her sister is very crazy and was just curious. The group of novices is right there anxious for the expedition. So Orun decided to stay farther away so as not to increase their anxiety even more for being someone from outside. That said, Selma says that he will help the novices relax and introduces the other escorts of the expedition. Selma told everyone that Orun is very trustworthy and very strong as well, so things will go just fine. The members are surprised with Selma praising someone that much, Then each one introduces themselves. The most generic, there is Antum Defender. The blonde one is Barnard, and he is also a defender, and Kathy is the healer. Counting Orun and Selma, there is an enchanter and an attacker. If Orun does not show up there, someone would have to make double the effort to be the attacker. Exactly because of this, for him, this plan is very weird. And Selma knows that Orun knows that something wrong is not right, but cut to the past where Vince said that he knows how Selma feels when losing a powerful trump like him. But Orun is an enchanter too, and cannot leave him in the first squad thinking about the balance of the group. Selma is desperate because the clan did not advance anything in the Great Labyrinth in 1 year. But with Orun there, and if it works out as an attacker, they have a chance for everything to change. Selma raises morale and goes to present Orun to all the Silver Rabbit's novices. Selma says that everything will be fine, so nobody has to be nervous, because the great Orun from the Heroes group joined them on the expedition, and he already reached the 94th floor of the Great Labyrinth. This is the guy. Selma, they're really sold the fish well for Orun. The novices get happy and surprised with Orun there and are more confident to reach floor 50, one of the Great Southern Labyrinth. Orun complains that Selma put him on too high a pedestal, but she says that she did not tell any lie, and part of her job is to make the novices relax so they act better. Orun understands, but he used this hero title only to help with the promotion of the old man's shop that welcomed him. He prays that there will not be any problem, and Selma puts him to take care of and guide Group 10, where the most promising novices are. If they learn to work as a group, they will easily reach the middle floor, so she counts a lot on Orun's help because at night there will be present Hee Hee Boy. Orun introduces himself to Group 10 and hopes that they can get along. Sophia is part of the group too, and Orun thinks that people are missing. But in fact, this group is formed by only these three. Orun thinks that this is rare, but also too dangerous, mainly for novices. Then comes the little blonde saying that nobody can keep up with them. That is why they are only three. Orun says that having this attitude so early can be a problem in the future. The group introduces themselves, starting with the leader, Logan Hayward. He is an enchanter and dreams of surpassing Selma one day. The next is Caroline Lingot, who is a defender. But Orun finds it strange that she has no armor at all. And Caroline says that everyone says that, but she is the top, a defender who does not use armor and shield because she dodges instead of blocking, because she does not want monsters to touch her. Defenders of this type focus on speed to dodge the monster's blows. This is a danger for novices with no combat experience at all. The clan did not want this for Caroline, but she did not listen to any teacher. She and Logan are just the same. Both think too highly of themselves and do not listen to anyone. Sophia is already much calmer and nicer, being a rear attacker who is a mage. Orun is happy that at least one is chill, but feels that the mission will be difficult. They enter the labyrinth, and Orun looks that even though the two little brats are quite hot-headed and noisy, when they entered the labyrinth, they became silent and focused. Caroline wants to know why a member of the Heroes group is helping a rival clan. Orun said that Selma explained before he is a former member of the Heroes group because he left the group, and Caroline wants to know more about Orun's reasons and stops everything to talk to him. But Orun says that it is none of her business. That said, Caroline says that she heard a lot about him from Sophia, who said that Orun is someone incredible and super strong. Sophia gets embarrassed, but says that he saved her life and gives a lot of confidence. Caroline understood and tells Sophia not to be nervous, since Orun is so wonderful like that. After all, a hero is protecting everyone. Orun does not like this hero thing, but sees that Caroline tried to calm Sophia with these words. Although she is chatty, she values her companions a lot. Then wolf monsters appear from behind and go to attack Orun and the others, but he notices and had already left magical traps to finish off the creatures. Still good that he left this prepared beforehand. It is difficult for enemies to notice the traps until the moment of activation. Orun thinks far ahead so as not to waste time. Now he has to keep an eye on how Team 10 fights, but he does not think there will be big problems from here on in this teaching expedition. This naughty anime did not show the fights, but rather a big summary. It already made my job of writing easier. Logan is not just a novice who thinks too highly of himself. He is really quite skilled as an enchanter, and if he lasts in long battles, in the future, he will easily participate in a rank A group. However, he is not good at giving orders, but with team experience, he will certainly become a better leader. As for Caroline, she is really very fast, but has some downsides. She always attacks without thinking when she sees a monster, And she also carries 2 daggers that match her fast style, but there may be a lack of strength for the group. Sophia is not on another level like the two, but she is quite skilled, more than any random novice. However, she is passive regarding the functioning of the group, but this improves when she gets more used to the team members. Sophia also does not have any standout negative point. She will develop very well. Later, the escorts defeat the boss of floor 20 and go straight to floor 21 for the novices to register at the Crystal. The first day ended and Selma wants to know how things went. Oran says that Team 10 has a lot of potential, but they do not know how to work together, especially Caroline. Selma said that she improved a lot in this regard since the beginning, that there is madness. The next day it comes out in the newspaper that the Heroes group has a new enchanter. Now, everyone knows that Oran was expelled from the team. This upsets Oran, and he thinks that some of the novices who read this may think that he is not a big deal. But there is nothing to do about what others think of you. Oran accepts it and goes to the expedition. On the way, Luna appears, a member of the Heroes group. Even though the other members of the group started to treat Oran badly for him to leave, Luna always treated him the same way since the beginning of the team. When he was expelled, Luna was not present because she was dealing with a family matter. She went there to ask that Oran return because the team needs his strength. Luna, unlike the other suckers, respects Oran's abilities a lot. And the pro tag says that they already have a new member. There is no reason for him to return. Luna begs and says that she will make everyone accept him again. Oran thinks that it is already too late and also does not wish to return. Luna says that they promised that they would complete the Great Labyrinth together. This triggers Oran and he lets go of her hand and says that this was a promise of theirs together with Oliver. And since Oliver expelled him, there is no way for this to be carried out anymore. The 3 childhood friends, Oliver, Luna, and Oran, promised this a long time ago. But the group that seemed inseparable is already a thing of the past, and even if Oran wants it, the promise can no longer be fulfilled. Oran goes on with the expedition, thinking about the newspaper that came out with the news that he was expelled from the Heroes group for being weak, and how this will affect his relationship with the novices of the Silver Rabbits of the Night Sky. He knew that at some point this would leak. But did it have to be now? Well, Oran arrives at the place and the kids are all commenting about the news. Logan is in shock and disappointed with Oran because he had said that he left the Heroes group and not that he had been expelled. This changes the whole perception that Logan had of Oran. He arrives saying good morning to everyone and sees that the atmosphere is very different, but understands everyone's confusion. Selma and the other teachers arrive running and the enchanter asks for apologies. Oran says that this is not necessary. After all, they need to focus to finish the teaching expedition so that it is not a failure. Selma says that she does need to apologize. After all, she used him to inspire the novices and said that Oran was very strong and all that, and now a news like this comes out. She wanted to have been more careful. Oran is the one who asks for forgiveness for not having been honest with everyone since the beginning and takes responsibility for this. Then he asks everyone to stay calm and with their heads held high. One of the escorts says that it is true that Oran went up to the 94th floor, so it is fine. That by itself is incredible, and it does not matter if Oran was expelled or not. Besides that, his work leaves nothing to be desired. Oran greets his team, and Sophia and Caroline are fine with him. But Logan has a turned face. Sophia thinks that the newspaper article was all a bunch of lies, and Caroline says that she does not care. But Oran clears things up and says that a good part of the newspaper is true. So he is not the great hero that everyone expected him to be. Oran asks for forgiveness for not having spoken before. But Sophia defends him and says that he is strong, yes. Someone who takes out more than 12 orcs quickly is certainly strong as hell. Sophia knows that Oran is not weak. He is happy about this and says that he will take them to floor 50, one of the great southern labyrinth, not as a hero, but as Oran Dura, individual explorer. He swears to protect the 3 and wants them to do their best like on the previous day. Logan feels stupid for having gotten excited before about Oran. That said, they continue from where they stopped, from floor 21. Today they will go to floor 35 of the labyrinth. But the escorts will not give any instructions until the novices reach floor 31. Until then, everything goes normally with the group acting on their own. Caroline and Sophia handle some monsters and get tired. But Oran's compliments reinforce their energies to move forward. Still good that some still believe in Oran. Different from that annoying Logan there who only cares about the guy's status and now thinks that he is nothing special. Orun goes in front because now things are going to get intense, and he already feels monsters ahead and asks everyone to prepare weapons and grenades because the thing is going to get crazy. Goblins appear and Orun asks Caroline to buy time with them. As always, she goes for the attack and not to draw attention. Sophia will take care of the orcs from behind, and before Orun says anything to Logan, he already uses his support magics to improve Caroline. Logan no longer respects Orun and wants to do things his own way. Caroline deals well with the goblins, but Sophia is trembling with fear of the orc because her trauma of almost having gone to be dragged away by them is still very strong. Logan sees Orun standing still and thinks that he has to solve everything alone. But Orun uses an agility debuff on the hidden orc and gives instructions and motivations for Sophia to be able to finish off the monster. Sophia listens to these words and uses advanced fire magic, the fire dart, which vaporizes the orc, but leaves her very tired. Orun is surprised that Sophia is capable of using advanced magic, and Caroline congratulates her friend. The protag praises the teamwork of everyone on the team, and Logan from afar thinks about what is going on with Orun. Then they arrive at the stopping point of the day, floor 35, with a monstrous spider in front of them. Logan is already trembling with fear, thinking that they do not have enough strength to defeat a beast like that. However, Orun gives instructions for Logan to use agility buff and increased resistance on Caroline to start, and magic increase on Sophia. Then Caroline charges forward and Logan wants to run to help, but is stopped by Orun, who says that this way he loses the advantage. He also tells the tank to jump over the spider and cut its back. Continuing like this, Caroline must buy time for the rest of the group, but must be careful with the spider's poisonous attacks. She must carefully observe the movements and always dodge the boss. This is what Caroline does masterfully, and Logan needs to stay focused on keeping Caroline's speed increased, and Sophia must restrict the beast's movements. She uses air slash and rips off the creature's legs. Orun warns that it is not over yet, and Logan has to use strength increase and technique buff on Caroline, and without questioning, then the spider traps Caroline in its web and pulls her to make a little snack. The kids get worried, but Orun calmly tells Caroline to cut the webs with her daggers. But it does not work very well. Sophia prepares a stone arrow, and Logan has to use magic increase on her. Since the last buff is close to ending, Orun knows about Logan's limitations of only being able to use 3 spells, and uses the sharpening buff on Caroline's weapons for her to get out of the webs. Sophia launches the huge stone arrow and defeats the giant spider. The group managed to win, and Orun humbly says that Logan was a key piece for the victory with his enchantments. Then they leave, and for today, that's all, folks. Outside the cave, Selma says that tomorrow is the last day, and it is good for everyone to rest to fight well on the last remaining floors. Orun is leaving when the other escorts invite him to eat and drink together. Orun is happy that nothing changed with the adults and accepts the invitation. Orun did not have time to mingle in the labyrinth, so socializing now is a good idea. Group 10 in the carriage talks about Orun having saved Sophia 3 days ago, and Logan wants to know everything about that day, how Orun fights and other things. Sophia cannot say very well, but tells that he used a strong wind blast on the orcs and strengthened his sword with support magic, the same type of buff that Orun used on Caroline's daggers. Logan is surprised that Orun fights with swords in addition to using magic. Sophia tells that he converted to swordsman, frontline attacker. When he left the heroes group, Logan does not understand why he did this, being that he is brilliant as an enchanter and showed this in the teaching expedition. Now Logan respects Orun more and forgets this business of him having been expelled, changing how good he is at what he does. In the battle against the orc, Logan saw that he used a debuff on the orc, something that even Selma uses rarely because it is difficult to use, but Orun did it with ease, besides knowing everything to do against the giant spider. And this was the first time that Logan understood the importance of battle formation in the Great Labyrinth. If the tank keeps the target occupied, the enchanter and the attacker manage to think about what to do next more easily. This is the ideal way to fight. Orun even knew the duration time of the spells, predicting the enemy's blows. The guy is a god on the battlefield, strategic genius, and in combat as well. Logan knows that Orun is far ahead of his level. So why did he convert to attacker? Sophia says that he is another level as a frontline attacker too, defeating more than 12 orcs at once. Caroline also wants to be like that in the future, just as Sophia also wants. The two will strive for this. Logan knows that Orun is a genius and has to learn everything he can from him to evolve. Caroline does not like that sour face of Logan, who says that he is just motivating himself to do well next time. Caroline gets excited and says that she will give her best too. At night, Orun eats together with the guys at the Silver Rabbits restaurant, and Orun says that he never celebrated so much in the heroes group as they think, since he kept doing administrative work all the time. The guys get outraged at the way the group expelled Orun, and he thanks them. Orun explains their doubt about being a swordsman or an enchanter. When he was a child, he always dreamed of being a swordsman. The guys think it is because of his parents, but in reality it is because of Orun's grandfather, who used to be an adventurer in the past and one day defeated a monster that would wipe out the village. The old man did this with only a sword. Time passed, and he says that he became an enchanter because the group no longer advanced at the same pace on deeper floors. The monsters get stronger as well, and this made it very difficult for two swordsmen to handle it. Then they started to look at enchanters to advance faster. Since Orun always did everything, it was decided that he would become the group's enchanter. And this helped. They went up to the 94th floor. However, Orun says that this was not the best thing to do. Even with his conversion, they should have slowed down and gotten stronger. The randoms do not understand, and Orun realizes that he cannot say anything else, because the chances of the heroes group passing the 94th floor now are 0. The friends want to know what type of swordsman is ideal for Orun, and he says that it is a jack for every job. A swordsman who can clear all floors alone. This is the type of adventurer he wants to become. The Silver Rabbits say that if it is Orun, he certainly is capable of this. Cut to Caroline and Sophia talking about Orun. That if Sophia asks, well, Orun can stay with the Silver Rabbits, since he does not want him to leave after the teaching expedition. Caroline says that it is good for her to ask, it will work out. But Sophia says that it is not as if she were convincing her sister Selma. With Orun, a simple request will not work. But she thinks about talking to him. On the other day, the heroes group is arriving to explore the Great Labyrinth, and Luna is not very happy with the situation. That my good man, here Orun showed that he is the guy, and that being in a respected group does not define him. It is good that Logan learned properly now. The last day of the expedition of the Silver Rabbits with the rookies has arrived, and now everything is fine with Orun's relationship with Logan. He hopes that they keep the focus one more time to return safely. Caroline says that it would be good if they earned a reward for completing the mission. Logan thinks it is a lot of audacity for Caroline to ask something from Orun. But it's not only her who wants something, Sophia also does. But there is no way for her to speak in front of Orun. The embarrassment does not allow it. But Caroline is insisting for the friend to speak, and when she creates courage, Orun is called by Selma. On the way, the protagonist hears that his former group will enter the 92nd floor today to see their team affinity with a new enchanter of the group. Orun thinks this is very risky. If it is to see how the new team performs together, they should start on floors with less risk. But this is no longer Orun's problem, and he follows his life. The heroes group arrives on floor 92 of the Great Southern Labyrinth, and they are going to start their first adventure with a new enchanter. They're happy that there is no longer a loser getting in their way. Man, how can some characters be so arrogant and stupid? This EP made me angry, but you will see why. The new enchanter thanks them for the invitation to join the group, and the random animals there, this tank and the mage, make me angry just by looking at them. I don't even want to talk about what they say in the EP, but they expect great things from the rookie, because Orun was a piece of shit. That's what they say, right? The leader sees Luna's face and knows that she didn't like the idea, but thinks that everything will change after they complete the expedition. 2 days ago, the rookie Philly Carpenter arrived in the heroes group. There is a good reception for her. Contrary to the way they treated Orun in the first EP, Philly managed to reach the 100th floor in the Great Western Labyrinth and is a quite skilled adventurer, it seems. The tank and the mage are happy that Orun will no longer give ridiculous and weak buffs to them. They even threw a big party for Philly and are burning the money. Since Orun is no longer there to manage the group's accounts, and hopefully they screw themselves there, the protagonist was everything. The most important of the group, the accountant, and a true leader. Because this Oliver is a Pomonia who knows nothing, but I'm rushing myself right. They are about to celebrate, and Luna arrives wanting to say something important. That Orun was going to an expedition with the Silver Rabbits. The people become indignant that he thinks himself so much to enter such an important clan. Then Luna finds out that these ridiculous, boorish people expelled Orun from the group. Luna stayed 2 days away and the group is already a mess. She had said that she was super against Orun's departure because he was the core that made this team work perfectly. But Oliver doesn't even want to know, and the decision has already been made. It is too late to complain about something. They're going to screw themselves badly for thinking that Orun was holding the group back. I just want to see their sucker faces, not say something else. Poor Philly, who seems like a good person and did not want this conflict happening in the group, and says that she will do her best. Luna knows that when they go to floor 92, they'll be killed in a matter of minutes without Orun. There is no way for them to pass without his abilities, but of course this heroes group that shares only one neuron thinks that it is impossible and that they are awesome and this kind of thing. Luna thinks that just like Orun, they should test the new enchanter and the new team formation on initial floors to see how the group performs and thus not take risks. However, the guys think too highly of themselves for having reached the 94th floor and think they are invincible. There is the Black Dragon as the boss of floor 92. If they run into this beast, they're going to starve. Because last time they only won with Orun together, and it was not an easy victory. Oliver says that they will not get close to the boss area, but that trash tank there wants to show off and fight the dragon by himself. There is no way for Luna to do anything, because the great leader Oliver has already decided that they will go to floor 92 and fight. Now in the present they are fighting against a mutant mammoth, but they cannot do anything. Oliver's buff ends and he feels heavy right after. He asks Philly why the support is not lasting, but it is obvious that she is still learning the rhythm of each one in the fight and what the group's dynamics are like. Oliver never went through this because Orun on the first day of the group already knew everything in less than 1 hour. And the big turnip head still does not regret that he expelled Orun. He really is a big loser. The tank does not tank the blows properly that for him are easy, and the mage no longer casts strong fire spells like before. Philly had already put the buff on her, and even so did not help at all. It is your team of useless people. Without Orun, you are worse than trash. Good thing, right? The mammoth must be laughing at their faces and shooting laser at the losers who can only hide. Oliver does not understand how Philly, who is more skilled than Orun, cannot do everything that the so-called weak one managed to do. The guys are all lost and the teamwork is not flowing like before. They look like dizzy cockroaches fighting against a simple monster from this floor. Oliver asks the enchanter to warn about the mammoth's next big attack, but there is no way for her to do it, since she is focusing everything on support magic. And the annoying mage still gets disappointed that she cannot count on Philly. Go there yourself and do something with this magic of lighting a birthday candle. Oliver sees that nobody has the same strength as always, and he cannot even use all the power of his sword, but he is such a donkey that he does not understand why he is weak like this. Luna has to say the obvious to them, to this useless team, but there is no way now. Because the Black Dragon boss arrived, a boss left the area where it was supposed to be. Now yes, the train stank. The dragon arrives telling the mammoth to go graze, and Luna says to run away. But of course the luxury randoms want to fight to massage their egos. Oliver and the others think they can defeat him like before, but they can barely stay standing and the tank already has to be healed after one hit. The tense thing is that Philly froze in fear and is not using buffs on anyone. But this animal of a leader swore that removing Orun everything would be fine. The mage cannot do anything, there's nothing left. The beta gets beaten up too. Only Oliver is left as a fighter, who enters a state of denial, and Luna screaming for them to run away from there. There's no way to win and everyone will die if they stay still. Oliver makes the enchanter wake up and put a buff on him to buy time to escape. Oliver does not prepare his strongest attack properly, but uses it against the strongest blast of the Black Dragon, which does not cause even a scratch on it. He begs for help and instructions on what to do from Luna. The leader who has to know things is destroyed now, good thing. Luna says to use the capricious portal item, which creates a forced spatial link between one point to another location. But this item is risky because it can take them to a more dangerous or a weaker floor. The choice is random. One way or another, they will have to fight against a floor boss when they leave the portal. But Luna says that this is better than facing this furious dragon. Oliver stands up and grabs the item. The group grabs the two useless ones and uses the item to escape, but the dragon notices and messes with them, and the monster enters the portal, and where it will sprout, it will only be possible to know when there is a lot of people going to F, because it can sprout in the middle of a raid of a weaker group and wipe everyone out. Now Luna and the others need to run and warn the guild to use forced teleport on everyone inside the labyrinth. When one enters the labyrinth with the adventurer card, one already comes equipped with the teleport spell for emergency cases. This is their only option, and because of these boorish people, everyone is at risk, and in the end they will still take punishment from the guild. Oliver was ready to leave without the two, who are injured. The specialty of this animal is abandoning others when he does not need them. What a nice guy. Luna says that they will have to face the Black Dragon, and when they leave there, they will need to seek help. So it would be better to call Orun back for this. She would not like to call Orun to clean up their mess, but it will have to be the way, and the pride of this tank and of all the others cannot get in the way of the duty they have now. That said, Luna explains why they are so weak like this, why the usual blows and defenses are no longer working. All because Orun is not in the group. Oliver almost did not do any magical convergence before to have a powerful strike, because he depended too much on Orun's buffs. The enchanter decides how much to increase the buff on the target, and the target decides the duration of the effect, and that normally the buff lasts an average of 3 minutes. This is what Oliver knows, but in truth it depends a lot. Philly says that all of them have high resistance to magic, so it is harder to work on them. She barely manages to keep the buff for 2 minutes on the mage and on the tank, and especially Oliver, who is more complicated, not even giving 1 minute of duration of Philly's buffs. Oliver is not compatible with any enchanter. So what Orun did was on another level, and Oliver expelled him for Orun being merely weaker in the raw aspect than any other enchanter. But he did not know that to mitigate this, Orun studied a lot and created original spells to compensate for his lack of talent. The guys think that it is impossible that the weakling managed to do that. But Luna reveals that it is true, and that the power of those spells increased the buffs by more than 50 times. Everyone thinks it is impossible, since the great Selma of the Silver Rabbits only manages buffs with 10 times more potency. There would be no way for Orun to be stronger than her. Oliver's strongest strike was only powerful because Orun was there with support magic of another level strengthening him. Just like the other two idiots, who depended too much on Orun and cannot even perform advanced techniques anymore to fight against enemies. Because Orun's buffs improved even the average spells so much that there was no need for anything else. They became so arrogant and did not even notice that all the strength they had was thanks to Orun. Luna has already said this so many times, but only now did the animals understand, I think. Oliver knows, but it is too late for Orun to return. The heroes group leaves the labyrinth and people think that everything is going well for them, that the guys are awesome. But they hardly know that the thing went bad for everyone there. Oliver knows that they are not heroes at all, that they put many innocents in danger because of their carelessness, and that they have no right to be heroes. The leader is angry because he already defeated the Black Dragon and now he cannot anymore. And he does not accept having Orun back. He will manage to solve everything without him around. He is a big imbecile who does not know what he is saying right. He only has one neuron. Orun and the rest of the Silver Rabbits are on the last day of the teaching expedition to reach up to floor 50, and when they reach floor 51, they will use the teleport crystals to return, and thus in the day, Orun feels something strange in the air. Which is strange because the escorts will defeat the floor bosses that the students cannot handle, which is super fine, but there is something very wrong happening and Orun senses danger and chaos coming from the Great Southern Labyrinth. Then Logan is looking at him with a weird #1 fan face. Caroline wants to know what kind of monsters they will face that day. Orun says that she cannot rush at the monsters all at once. Her role is as a defender and she has to protect her allies. But Caroline ignores it and says that it is better for her to fight on the front line so the others do not have to strain themselves. Logan tells Caroline to stop being annoying and that Albert also used to say that teamwork is important. Orun knows who that is. He was the ace up the sleeve of the Silver Rabbits of the Night Sky. Everyone knows him. However, he died fighting the Black Dragon on the 92nd floor last year. Caroline changes her vibe and says that he died as a defender protecting his companions. That is why she wants to fight on the front line and solve everything by herself so as not to put her friends in danger. She does not want everyone's smile to fade again. Orun understands what she feels and counts on her on this journey. Inside the labyrinth, Selma talks with Orun about Albert. He was a very big trump card for the Silver Rabbits clan, and losing him was a great loss for everyone. With that, the heroes group managed to get ahead and conquer the Great Labyrinth. However, Orun says that they also could have easily gone to the grave. The Black Dragon is no joke. The expedition team split up, and Orun and the others move forward. Orun starts to talk about what the monsters are like and the difficulties on the lower floors, but the children get so excited that they do not let the guy talk. Cut to the heroes group arriving at the guild and Luna asking to speak with the guild master because they need to carry out a forced teleport in the Great Labyrinth immediately. Orun and his group do not find monsters on floor 40, which is strange, because it was supposed to be full of them, and Orun's feeling that something bad is coming is the same as when he entered the labyrinth. It almost looks like the monsters are afraid of something. Then a goblin appears and Caroline, crazy to fight, rushes at it. Orun gives it a debuff, otherwise the girl would have taken a really bad beating. Logan says that Azure goblins are very fast and strong if it were not for the reduced agility that Orun gave it. Caroline would be screwed. Orun says again that the defender is the core of the group. If they are in danger, the other members will also be and will not be able to fight properly. The heroes group talks with the guild master to prepare the forced teleport. But this is absurd to the master. What terrible thing could have happened to reach this point? Luna tells that the black dragon transported itself from floor 92 to an area probably with many people in the labyrinth. A black dragon crossing a magical portal is something unprecedented. Never has a floor boss used magical items. It is possible that someone has already encountered it, so it is better to act as soon as possible. The spell is very large and takes a lot of time to gather mana and execute the forced teleport. The superiors tell Oliver that he will have to take full responsibility, and the two crappy characters still stay on this that it was not their fault. These animals make me very angry. Holy Lord, give me patience. The master asks them to focus, and Luna is worried about Orun. Meanwhile, Orun gives tips and advice on how Sophia, Caroline, and Logan can improve their combat skills. Sophia really wants Orun to stay and teach her all this after the expedition. Orun thinks it is possible, but already thinks about Selma thinking wrong things about him and says that she has to let it go. Sophia says that it is all good, that her sister does everything she asks. The guild gathers a lot of mana to start the spell, and the master says that the heroes group will have to defeat the black dragon. Now they give little excuses to not fight, but before they thought they were the tops who could do anything. It is when the water hits but that it turns out like this. The expedition arrives at the floor boss, and the escorts will defeat it while the rookies watch and see how professionals fight. Orun says that in a few minutes, he will put this four-armed giant on the ground. Then he does everything that he taught to the group, and the other escorts do not lag behind and defeat the boss very easily. Logan and the others understood a little about what teamwork is like and can take inspiration to improve. They are going to face another boss, and Orun already cuts it down easily with his original magic impact that improves the power of his strike or spell by 100 times for an instant. Everything ends and they will be able to return home fine. That said, the terror arrives at the expedition and the black dragon appears to everyone. Orun shouts for everyone to run away. Selma and the others do not believe that a lower floor boss really appeared there. Everyone is in shock to do something. Never should a black dragon appear on such weak floors. Selma knows that she has to take the leadership, and Orun thinks that if they reach the teleport crystal that is behind the black dragon, they can get out alive from there. However, he sees that nobody moves properly, and this is good for the black dragon, which will focus its attacks where there is concentration of people. Orun knows that if he runs alone, he can save himself, but he will never leave the others behind. He has a mission which is to guarantee the safety of the Silver Rabbits rookies. Orun will not betray them, and the only way for everyone to survive is with Orun defeating the Black Dragon. He asks the escorts to protect the rookies, and Selma give the order to assume a defensive position. The mage creates a barrier, but the boss's attack is too strong to contain it. So Orun uses fortification magic impact to improve the defense, and the group survives. Orun attacks the dragon alone, but the beast is intelligent. However, Orun is more and uses impact to attack the dragon with the sword right on the neck. However, the beast did not suffer even a scratch. Orun takes care of the black dragon and has a plan, so the escorts only need to focus on protecting the rookies. He puts on a red stone necklace and charges forward, drawing the dragon's attention to himself so it does not focus on the group. Selma would not be able to bear seeing another friend die, like what happened with Albert, who protected them in the same way that Orun is doing. Then, Orun uses attribute increase 5 times, something inconceivable for any enchanter. Nobody can do this in 2 times, let alone 5. The guy practically turned into a legendary Super Saiyan. Orun dodged the dragon's strike faster than the Flash. These abilities of Orun go beyond common support magic. It is another tier. However, Orun's body cannot withstand much time in this state. After all, he is using more than 30 different spells at once. The burden is too high for the user. He dodges the dragon's strike using a special ability in mid-air, something that some are born with, which is different from magic or sorcery. Orun's ability is Magical Convergence, which allows gathering the mana in the environment and materializing it. He can use this mana to propel himself in the air as well. It is the same ability as Oliver's, but he only uses it for attack. Orun combines a bunch of spells and finally makes a cut on the Black Dragon. But the beast is already getting tired. In the past, the village of Oliver and Orun was attacked by bandits. A great disaster was committed. Since that day, he swore that he would become strong to protect others. The two together did not want anything more than that nothing would be stolen from them ever again. And now Orun is in the trial by fire and swears that he will protect the Silver Rabbits. However, the Black Dragon began to gather mana for a super attack, something very similar to Magical Convergence. But Orun knows that the dragon is not taking the fight seriously like the last time he defeated it. Before, there was a whole group with Orun, each one responsible for a function to finish the boss, and now Orun has to perform all the functions and finish alone with the feared Black Dragon. Orun uses frontline techniques, defender techniques, and mage techniques to overcome the creature. Orun prepared a trap spell for the dragon to take a barrage of fireballs to the face. That said, he uses his Magical Convergence to gather mana in his Black Blade. He wants to be the adventurer who can complete the labyrinth alone, an independent swordsman. But of course the dragon is not defeated with this strike, only its tail falls to the ground. But Orun does not give up and keeps persevering. However, his buffs end and Selma tries to help, but he says that this would only get in the way of his perception and that he does not need it. Selma understands that there is no place for her in this fight against the Black Dragon, and Orun buffs himself again and uses Thunder Shock together with Impact and knocks the dragon down. His sword went to hell, but now it is the final moment. It is all or nothing. Orun uses Destruction and brings out the mana to summon a surprising Black Sword, a spell that goes far beyond a special level magic. With this and the fusion of Impact, he deals the necessary damage to the dragon. The Silver Rabbits see that their hero is alive and that he defeated the Black Dragon. My good man, this EP was insane. The guy defeated the boss alone, and those suckers expelled Orun for thinking that he was weak and was holding everyone back. The truth is that they were getting in the way of Orun's progress. The group of the heroes sets out to defeat the Black Dragon, but they arrive with a teleport light blinking. There's a great commotion there nearby. Then Luna asks permission and sees the head of the Black Dragon thrown on the ground. He has already been defeated, and the fools do not believe. Luna sees that Orun is all wounded and exhausted. His sword went to base, and Luna wants to heal him quickly, but he only says to take care of the rest and fix everything and goes away. Luna notes that Orun fought alone, since he is the only wounded one, but of course the crappy tank doubts and asks who defeated the dragon. Luna asks to stop because it is in the face that it was Orun who defeated it. It is good for the incompetents to accept soon their weakness and stop with the envy. However, the tank gets angry and soon goes on top of Luna to hit her, but the mage paralyzes him with her pixie. Here there is no fight. Oliver asks the two to stop and is a little angry that his childhood friend is better than him. Sophia will write a report of the teaching expedition and will put everything she can about Orun, since he was the great protagonist of the day, besides having taught her several different things. Gave her courage, taught advanced magic, spoke about the parallel construction, and defeated the infamous Black Dragon. Sophia fell in love even more with the man, said that her sister Selma arrives terribly tired and it had been a long time that Sophia had not seen her like that. The two go to take a bath together to relieve the tension. On the next day, Orun is suffering with the whole body sore after the battle and heals himself with magic. Then he and Selma go to talk, and she apologizes for what occurred and thanks a lot for him having saved all the Silver Rabbits. Orun says that someone important should not bow. But for Selma, her position is the least. Orun saved her, and also her sister and the other novices were saved. She does not have words to thank and wants to say something. She wanted that he visited her clan to talk with the leader. Orun accepts, and there the leader invites him to join the Silver Rabbits of the Night Sky. And more than that, he wants to recommend him as captain of Unit 1, the strongest of the clan, and also as one of the commanders. Selma totally agrees with the indication and would like to work together with Orun to strengthen the Silver Rabbit's Night. However, Orun wants to think a little about it, and the leader says that it is all right and that he can take the time that it takes to decide. From there, Orun goes to the Adventurers Guild where everyone talks about the incident with the Black Dragon, and again those rascals keep talking nonsense to not say other things, and Orun has to give a lesson to them to see if they wake up to the size of their insignificance. The three musketeers, Logan, Sophia, and Caroline really want to find Orun to ask him to join the clan of the Silver Rabbits. So they go to Selma and ask where he is, and with the conversation she understands that she does not need to stay depressed because Orun is stronger and did not need her help. With him being a member of the clan, everyone there can learn and become stronger. Orun notices that the three novices are going after him and he runs away to not be seen because he is in doubt about what he wants. The brats follow him the whole afternoon, but they do not achieve anything. Orun hides in the shop of the good little old man, who says to him that Orun needs to follow the feelings of his heart and not surrender to the fear of being used again by new companions. This makes Orun reflect a lot in the moonlight. In this place, Sophia appears, who thanks for having saved her and tells Orun what it is to be part of a clan and how the Silver Rabbits want to guide other adventurers. Then she personally asks Orun to enter the clan. And on the next day, Orun talks with the leader and accepts to join the Silver Rabbits of the Night Sky. He wears the uniform given by Selma, and his students go running to see him, all happy, and of course Orun is also happy to see them. My good, this EP went by very fast, and still while that the characters that I hate appeared little, but it was enough to irritate me. If you liked it, leave your like and subscribe to give us support. Activate the little bell to not lose anything. Hype the video and see the description for more recaps. Thanks for the support, as always, and bye.